Hello! Today on unofficial Vlogmas Day 3, I am going to be filming my December recommendations video. If you don't know what the recommendations group is, it is a group on Goodreads created by Trina from Between Chapters and Kayla from Kayla Rain, and this month's topic is books to read in 2016. So basically you just pick any book and talk about why people should read it next year, because that's the thing. I'm not going to be picking any fantasy books as an FYI, because January's topic is recommending fantasy, so I've tried my best not to pick fantasy books for this month, and I haven't picked many trilogies either. I did trilogies last month, fantasy is next month, so I thought I would just try and focus on like standalone / series, especially in the sci-fi and paranormal like genres. So, we'll start things off with the only fantasy series I did pick because I couldn't resist, and that is the Keys to the Kingdom series by Garth Nix. I've talked about this series a lot on this channel, and I'm not ashamed of that because I adore it. I reread it this year for like must be like 9th time at this point, seriously. I reread it this year, I've definitely reread it last year. I just adore this series. It's about a boy who discovers he is heir to the universe, basically. And it's actually a very manipulative thing that happens to him, and it's just so cool. Like, amazingly cool. The characters are really fun. Arthur as a protagonist is, like, so special to me. It is a middle grade fantasy, so it doesn't feel ever too heavy, though it does deal with some kind of maturer aspect, because the antagonists in this series are all afflicted with a deadly sin, and it's just really cool, and I really love it, so everyone should read this series. Moving on to another middle grade-ish series, we have the Saga of Darren Shan / the Cirque du Freak series that I also mentioned a lot, and I'm also not ashamed of it because in my childhood this series basically defined the whole of year 5 for me, because it is phenomenal, and I reread it last year, about this time last year, so I'm due a reread soon. I'm probably going to read it next year, honestly, but this follows a young boy who becomes a vampire to save his best friend's life, and shit gets real from there. It gets really, really intense. It's a 12-book series, though these are bind-ups of 3. I have the 1st, 2nd, and 4th bind-up, and then the book 7 to 9 I have individually. I just think this series is really fun, and it's just really good, and Darren as the protagonist is just hilarious. I found this last year that as I got older I was laughing more because I understood the jokes more. Just such a good series. Going from one horror-y-esque book onto another horror-y-esque / paranormal book, we have The Messenger of Fear by Michael Grant. And Michael Grant is one of my favourite authors, I'm not going to lie, and this duology, The Messenger of Fear and The Tattooed Heart, is just so good. I wasn't expecting a lot going into The Messenger of Fear because I was getting it mostly because it's signed. I really wanted a signed Michael Grant book, so I picked it up. But I read it and I was so impressed. It's about this girl who is trained to become a messenger of fear because she's done something that she doesn't really remember. So this one deals with her finding out with what she had done wrong to become a messenger of fear. Because messengers of fear go to people who have done wrong and give them a choice to pay or play. And it's just really good. Really good. Might as well go from one Michael Grant book to another. I'm going to recommend the Gone series by Michael Grant, because this series is so cool. Like, seriously. It deals with a town that essentially gets cut off from the rest of the world. All the adults disappear, and you're left with 15-year-olds and below trying to run this place, whilst there is this villain that is in the darkness, and everyone, like, a bunch of people get superpowers, and it's just really cool. I just love this series. Like, diversity in this series as well. Like, A-star. It has such a wide cast. I just think it's amazing, and it's potentially becoming a TV show, so if that's not more cause to watch it, you know, read it, then I don't know what is. Also, awesome coloured pages. The UK editions all have this. They're all different colour pages, and they're so gold. Next up, I'll bring you another sci-fi kind of superhero, superpowered human series, and that is the Quantum Prophecy / the New Hero series by Michael Carroll. I haven't read the latest book in this yet, but the 7 books I have read were all amazing. Like, it feels like a comic book series, but it's in book form, which is probably because Michael Carroll writes comic books as well. He writes Judge Dredd, I think. So it's just such fun. The main characters in this trilogy, there's the first 3 books in this series, and then there's a 4 prequel / alongside series. It's very confusing. There's the first 3 books, the Quantum Prophecy, Sakara, and Absolute Power. Then we have the Superhuman Clash series made up of Superhuman, Ascension, Stronger, and Hunter. And then we have the continuation, which is Crossfire, which is the one I haven't read yet. But superheroes in this world are so cool. Basically, 10 years ago there was an instant where all the superheroes lost their powers, and now 10 years later the descendants are beginning to come into powers, and it's just really cool. And the next book is going to be one that I think a lot of people have probably already read, but I'm going to throw it out there because I just adore it. And that is The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I mean, who hasn't heard of this book at this point? The Raven Boys is the first book, and oh my god. There is something so enchanting about this series. Her writing is just so beautiful. The storyline itself is compelling, but it's the characters that make this series. The characters are also fleshed out. Each of them has their own story arc, and it just breaks my heart, some of the things that happens to them. But it follows Blue, the main character, who befriends these 4 boys called the Raven Boys because they go to this school. The logo is a raven, and basically from there she discovers that they are trying to find a Welsh king. It gets very confusing. A Welsh king who is meant to be able to grant like a wish, and it gets very complicated from there. Blue's family is all psychic, so they play really cool supporting roles, and generally love it. And the last 2 books I'm going to recommend are 2 books by an author that I have discovered this year. They're not like a series, but I wanted to mention them both because I love them both so much. And that is Ready Player One and Armada by Ernest Cline. So, Ready Player One is the one that everyone's heard of. And if you haven't read it yet, like, why haven't you read it yet? Because it's phenomenal and everyone should read it. It's advertised as The Matrix meets Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is just perfect because it is. And there's basically the world has gone to like really bad places, and the main character Wade, he and everyone else basically lives on the Oasis, a virtual reality game, and like the school is carried out on there, like currency is on there, everything is on there. The creator of the Oasis died and left behind an Easter egg that would lead you to become the like next owner of the game. There was 3 clues, and there's 3 keys, and he left a clue for the first one, and basically they find the first key and it just takes off from there. And it's amazing, and Ernest Cline's writing is amazing, and there's all these little nerdy references in there that I just loved. Then we have Armada, which is his newest release, which I know a lot of people haven't liked as much, but I did. So tough. But it follows a guy called Zach who is looking out his window in math class, and he sees a UFO from his favourite video game, Armada. And it gets so much cooler from there. You know, it gets really cool, and I know a lot of people have said, like, it's a bit of a slow book, but I don't understand that, because to me this is pretty good, and like the first act is a lot of building the world, which I appreciated. I thought it was really well done, and Ernest Cline's writing is phenomenal in this as well, so that is why I recommend it. December recommendations! Woo! So I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you soon. Goodbye.